I don't perform from a place of fear. You can't. In my head, I know that my intention is pure.
Mm-hmm.
I have no ill intention. I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings, nor I hate anyone. And I've got nothing but love and respect and joy to be here. So from that place, I give myself all the permission to perform. And if I don't do that, it's going to affect my performance,
Mm-hmm.
and I have not fully given this beautiful experience to the audience. All right, welcome to another episode of Wild Truth. I have a very special guest today. She's a friend. She is a lawyer. She is a dope, cool LA cat. Please welcome Mitra Ahouraian.
Nice to be here, Max. I don't know how much of that I agreed with, but okay.
This
Especially the part about being a cool LA cat.
Yeah, you are. You're the coolest lawyer I know.
Thank you.
Yeah. Lawyers are very boring, and lawyers are very obnoxious. Like, they're boring people who are very obnoxious at parties.
That sounds awful.
This is generalizing lawyers, right?
Yeah.
But that's what happens to most parties. Like, you see this lawyer guy who just like, oh, all day, every day, he's rigid with all these like languages and complicated laws and contracts. And then at the wedding, the dude that's the wildest with his hair all over the place and tie over there, and he's like dancing out of coordination but crazy. And you go, who is that guy? They're like, oh, that's the lawyer of the groom. He's one of the best lawyers in the country. You're like, he looks like one of the worst guests that anybody could have invited to this party.
Had to let loose.
Yeah.
We got tough jobs.
I just want to say it's very special for me to have my lawyer on this show. And a lot of people don't know, but you're a very, very skilled lawyer. When I made my first movie, you represented my entire film, my investors. It was a very complicated piece. And that's when I realized how brilliant you are at what you do. And then I realized, oh my God, you do different branches of law, not just entertainment. And then so I opened my 501c charity company with you. And then I did copyrights with you. I've gotten my cousin's green cards through you. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I didn't do that, but I'm thinking about it.
We fought some good fights too.
Yeah. We totally did. So I just want everybody here to know why I brought Mitra to the show. Because besides our professional connection and professional relationship, she's a dear friend. And when work is aside, somehow we have some of the best personal conversations. And I could say, Mitra is also my therapist, my psychologist, and so am I for her. Like,
I have a dual degree.
Yes. So we do share a lot of our personal struggles, and we can talk deep. And then so through all these years, we've gotten to know each other so well. And I thought, I want people to hear some of this conversation. So my goal through this session today is try to replicate that genuine connection I have with you, and talk about some stuff here with you that normally we would talk about behind closed doors, about certain aspects of my relationship and my struggles with my work or in my personal life, and vice versa, as much as you want to talk about. And on top of that, just get to know a little bit of the projects you're doing, the activities that you have going on in your life right now. So that I just think that would be a good introduction of this episode.
I love it.
Yeah?
Let's do it.
All right, let's dive into it. Okay, so you're beautiful. You're Persian. You're a lawyer. You're one of the smartest people I know. So not to make this a compliment thing, you're a smart person. As a smart, beautiful individual, why are you single? Is that intimidating to men? Is that the reason?
That's a fantastic question. I think that the dating pool sort of narrows when you're in that category at some point. I think that, I probably have sort of high standards, but I think they're fair standards to have when you hold yourself to certain expectations. I think that. And I just haven't found my person. Sometimes it just comes down to that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like
Same here. I feel the same way. I'm so
yeah.
smart and so talented and so beautiful. And the pool narrows.
Did that come
The
come
pool
off
narrows.
that is not how I meant for it to come
No,
off.
no. Seriously,
No, it does
I
narrow.
ask because a lot of girls that are in professional fields, they claim that it's harder for them to find someone because they come across intimidating to men. They say that men generalizing, they're looking for a girl that doesn't know as much as them or is not in their level, so they can kind of be in control.
So let me
Roar.
throw that back at you. Is that true?
I think it's true for certain men. I personally cannot relate to it.
Mm-hmm.
I find it very attractive if the person I'm with is smart. I feel like that's your life partner. So if you're going to have a partner, why would you want to have a partner that is not so smart or not so powerful and not so wanting to have control? Is it derives from insecurity.
For sure.
So you got to work on yourself on that part and say, hey, where am I being insecure in this relationship, and kind of like finding the healing for that, and then blossom from the opportunity of being with a partner that's strong in many levels of life. And do you think that regardless of this stuff that we just talked about, there is a problem in some sort of capacity for us that we haven't gotten there? And I'll let you dissect me first and kind of figure out, like, because you know me pretty well, to know to what level do I feel like I haven't met my person, and to what level is because there's some issues there that needs to be faced and handled so the right person can come in my life.
For sure. For sure. I
All
can tell
right,
you
well,
what mine
go
is
for
too,
it.
because I've thought about it.
Okay.
But I would say yours is you second guess yourself.
Cut that shit out. What do you mean? I don't second out anything.
It's so interesting because in like professionally and creatively, you just do. You know, like you don't think about it too much, and you're very intuitive and you're very confident in your decisions. That usually comes down to a fear.
Okay.
So what is it
what
that
is my fear?
what is
you
it
tell me.
Okay, it's either when people are afraid, they're either afraid that things are going to turn out horribly or they're going to turn out great, and that's going to mess with their sort of, or that things are going to go great and they can't handle that.
Okay, if things go great, I'm totally okay with that.
Are you sure?
100%.
Okay.
I
Well,
definitely have a lot of fears.
Yeah.
Definitely have a lot of fears, but not a fear of things going great.
Okay.
Okay, things going great. I'm like, ooh, I'm scared. No, I'm like, thank God things are going great. No, as soon as something goes wrong, I freak out, and I go, whoa. So then if this is going wrong, then the rest of my life is going to be this turmoil of this direction of more of this. Whoa. Where's the exit? Can somebody show me how to get the hell out of here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see it all, like one thing happens and then it's all going downhill, and then you have this whole picture of how your whole life is ruined and you've been through a divorce
that's
now
an
exaggeration
exaggeration of like the whole thing, right? So I have a fear of things. I have a fear of marrying someone and then having to divorce them. And this sounds simple, but the failure in that regards is a problem for me. If I feel like I failed in that regards, then I feel like I made the same mistake as my parents. And then from a young age, I didn't want to be like my parents. I didn't want to have a relationship with someone that ends up being like that, right? And so
did your parents divorce?
Divorced, yeah. Divorced, and they had a lot of arguments. It was not like I never really experienced the happiest loving relationship between my mom and dad at a young age. So I think the young me said, hey, when I'm there, I'm going to have a beautiful situation, and I'm going to have an awesome relationship with my significant other, and then my kids will be in this great situation, right? So the fear of not being able to create that for my kids in the future is the reason that I don't have that, nor kids and nothing, you know. But you
I think
see,
it's a reasonable fear. I mean, look at the statistics. You go into a marriage thinking that's going to be the rest of your life, and you have sort of this idea of what that's going to look like,
yeah,
and you invest like so much,
yeah,
you merge your lives. And then if you have children, obviously that's even more of a commitment to spending the rest of your life with someone. So I think it's a legitimate fear. Okay, so my fear of loss stems from losing one of the most important people to me that I loved the most. That's where my fear of loss comes from. I know that. And you know that I was raised a Baha'i. I'm a Baha'i, so we have that sense of like when bad things are happening to you, they're happening for you.
yeah,
They're teaching you to be stronger, to have other virtues, patience, compassion, all these things that sort of when you come out of the other side of something, you are presumably, if you've done the work, better in some way. I enjoy life so much now because of the stuff that I went through that was really hard when my
hmm,
dad was sick and like just every day was a struggle, or when you go through a breakup or something like that. Like you can enjoy all of the really beautiful moments so much more. And life is going to have both.
hmm,
So I think that letting go and like not being attached to our things, even
yeah,
people, um, but my fear of loss, I think, is very real and something that I've worked on, but it's definitely deep and it's
yeah.
there.
But here's the thing, like I feel like letting go is a skill.
Yep.
Humans were very attached to this world, uh, and letting go is probably one of the most important aspects of our life that we're not trained for. It's never going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we have to get better at accepting it,
Mm-hmm.
uh, faster, easier, and with less amount of pain. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever that percentage is, hopefully it'll reduce as we're experiencing life.
Yep.
So, just for people that don't know what Baha'i religion is, it's a very beautiful religion. As you accept you go to the church and you accept this religion, they give you $1 million, and you're
I
set for
think
life.
that's
Just so
the opposite of Scientology.
I said
I'm
that so
kidding.
everybody will look into it. See that's smart. I was like, oh really? Let me see
Let's look
what
at it now.
this. It's a beautiful, very spiritual, very spirit. Baha'is are very spiritual, and I had the opportunity at a young age to go to the Baha'i Center in Los Angeles and spend a lot of time and listen to a lot of the readings. And I'm like, wow, the poetries and the philosophy of the Baha'i religion is so rich and spiritual. It's just spiritual. The reason I use this is it doesn't have such a religious weight to it. It doesn't have like a hell and here you're about to burn and now you're going to be cut in half and there's a snake that's going to go up your ass. It was none of that stuff. More so, very like love is a huge
Mm-hmm.
aspect of the poetries and the community and the you know those are the things I walked away with from Baha'i Center,
Mm.
feeling like the love. And it's just like I remember all the open mics that we had, the musicians and the artists would get together, and
Mm.
the bondship and the care and the support, and such a beautiful, beautiful community.
I was very lucky to be raised in the faith because it also gives you a lot of tools for how to deal with challenges. I mean, even how to deal with what's going on in society right now. Our faith taught us that there's going to be this sort of destruction and then a rebuilding, destruction of the old, of like
Hmm.
all the things that are wrong with society right now has to be destroyed before the new will come up. And so if it's encouraging to anyone, we're on our path to like building something new and better. But I was very lucky to have, like I had parents who believed that in the equality of men and women, and so I was encouraged to have the same education that my brothers had. And that was, all the stuff. I was never treated differently, even though I was raised in a Middle Eastern family. And I think that, one of the things that was really great for me to hear was that religion is not supposed to be the cause of disunity. It's supposed to bring people together. It's supposed to bring humanity together. And we're taught that if religion becomes the cause of disunity, it's better that it doesn't exist. And that to me was like so powerful because it's like, yeah, religion has been the cause of disunity for so long. Us and them, we're this, you're that,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
we can't marry you, or we can't, accept you in these ways, or you're not the same as us. There's a lot of that has happened historically in religion, and it's like God's not really meant to be in competition with himself. There's one God, and the fact that there are various religions that, you know, prophets that came in different moments in time that have beautiful messages that at their core are the same. We really all come from the same
Mm-hmm.
source. So,
Amen. Allahu Akbar. Shabbat Shalom.
all of it.
Yes. I love what you said. And to me, I've never been a fan of religion. But I also acknowledge how religions have a lot of great teachings. But I wish they would take the essence of all these wonderful spiritual teachings from all religions, and the whole world could have this one beautiful belief. I mean, this is a fairy tale scenario, but I think what's happening is politics is so intertwined with religion that you don't know where the line is, and everything is so mixed that we're suffering from this
Mm,
ideology that not necessarily is being preached or used to help people. It's designed to help those who need to elevate themselves
mm-hmm,
politically.
mm-hmm,
So that's the seed of the problem.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
As the world becoming more mature, and humans are becoming they're becoming more evolved.
mm-hmm,
If we can get to a place that we realize we just need to understand that we're the same,
mm-hmm,
and love is the secret to solving everything,
mm-hmm,
and we find that unity through love,
mm-hmm.
then many problems perhaps would go away.
Yep,
This sounds simple, but yet it needs some amazing people to come together
it
to be able
really
to apply
does.
this.
Yeah, it really does. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Is that there need to be leaders who lead with love.
We have the worst leaders in the
We
world,
really
all
do.
over the world. Why does every country has the worst leader? Like the worst, when I say worst, I mean like the least, like humanity doesn't exist. When you look at all these countries and like the who's running them, you go, why?
Power? Like the people that choose to get. I mean, someone like you or I may not take that political route because who wants to play in that sandbox?
Because
Sorry,
it's
certain types
dirty.
of people.
You
Yeah.
know, the world will be a better place once every leader of every country is someone like Gandhi. It's
Mm,
someone who is someone like
Mother Teresa.
Mother Teresa, all these beautiful spiritual people. We need to have leaders that their intention is only helping the people, and they're intelligent enough, and their intentions are in the right place, and those two combined is going to make the world a better place.
Do you think we've ever had a leader like that?
Yeah, we've had many amazing leaders, and every single one of them to this day, their names have stayed alive,
Mm-hmm.
right? Gandhi is one of them. Martin Luther King is one of them.
Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela is one of them. And the list goes on of people who really, really had the love and the humanity
Mm-hmm.
and led from that place.
Mm-hmm.
Until more of those leaders are put in place, I think a lot of the issues, because of greed, money, and power, is always going to be there.
You mentioned that, like I can't think of somebody. Maybe I'm just blanking right now, but I can't think of somebody at that level in our generation right now. Do we have a leader?
Yeah, Donald Trump.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
But do we have that person?
Look,
I can't think of anyone.
America. Well, first of all, no, of course we don't. America is a capitalist country, and it's very difficult for this country to have a president that runs on those values.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I hope within these parties in the future, the intention is everything.
Mhm.
The intention, if these people finally get to a place and they go, look, a lot of these presidents are old as fuck. I mean, look, you're about to die.
Mhm.
What is it about this age that you're still holding on to this
Yeah.
greed and this power? You're going to die around the corner. Why wouldn't you do just good for the sake of love and people in this universe and let go of the rest? I don't know.
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
Mhm.
But I really hope, as a civilian who's got zero power in so many ways, I just wish, I want to be positive and say, I hope to God one day we have leaders that care about the people and they're smart enough. It's just like there's so many caring people, but they're also not smart, right? You also need a good, smart politician who's educated and understands how to implement laws to help the people. Hopefully that will happen. You know, I will run for presidency at certain
I think
age.
you would do great.
I know I would do great, but I don't like it if they like draw my cartoon face and then put a banana through my ear or something. I would be very
People
afraid.
are already doing
The next
that.
day, I know, right? I'll go on my Instagram. Whoever drew that cartoon is going to be executed tomorrow.
Let me ask you this, though. I have a question for you. So, because I know you're not just a comedian, obviously. Like, you have many talents and other things that you do.
Professional belly dancer.
That too. The dancing. Yeah, you've become quite the belly dancer. I have seen your Instagram. But directing, producing, a lot of things that you do beyond being a comedian, acting.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you think comedy has changed as a result of social media? Like the way that you connect with your fans and also the nature of like your jokes and how you tell jokes. Because everything's like short form now. So how has that changed for you being a comedian and navigating social media?
Well, there's been a lot of pressure now on comedians for what they're going to say, how they're going to say, what they're going to talk about. Um, and on that end, some of it has been positive, some of it has been negative. The positive has been like finally there should be some sort of pressure in the sense of like, hey, don't talk from a toxic place.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone is promoting discrimination and just negative, evil, dark sort of mentality. I think in those realms of things is sort of positive. But at the same time, who's going to be the police to decide this is dark and this is angelic, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of comedians are upset and they say, hey, let us all talk. And then, and you want to be a audience of mine or not, and this is your choice. And a lot of people say, no, this creates a toxic environment. Now, more than ever before, we're very conscious of how, like, female empowerment, right? So the way comedians refer to women and the way they talked about it sort of promoted some sort of misogynistic mentality and etc. So
I think even women did that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
It
female comedians...
it became a norm.
Yeah.
Right? And so now I feel like in that realm of things have gotten better. Racism, I think for let's say a non-black comic to use the N-word and try to not try to be respectful, etc. All of that is very positive.
Well, what about the Dave Chappelle thing, the Netflix special with the LGBTQ?
I think as a comedian, I don't think he had the intention to hate.
Yep.
And that's where I draw my conclusion from. I'm like, is he trying to hate? No. Is he making a point from his vision. What is this? His perspective? Yes.
Yeah.
Now, do you agree or disagree? That's your choice.
Yeah.
But to attack him and turn him into a villain, no. Right?
Like he made a bad joke that some people were offended by.
It wasn't
even bad. So
yeah.
I watched it just to see what, and I wasn't offended by it, but it's not directed at me.
Yeah, but also a lot of people didn't watch Chappelle's problem was like, you didn't even watch the whole special. You judged me from a part of this.
Yeah.
And he spent a lot of time crafting his point of view for a 1 hour comedy special, not for a 7-minute special, right? Not for 7 minutes part of it. So this guy is an artist who wants to talk about a topic that he feels like it's controversial, and he feels like, hey, maybe there is some parts of this doesn't make sense, and I want to bring these up, and I want the society, I want people to think, I want to create a thought-provoking environment at my show.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think Chappelle's scenario was any wrong, but again, there's no balance with this sensitivity, and I guess this is part of the society's growth. This is what it takes for us as a society to get to where we need to be with this, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to get there, hopefully. We have gotten to a really good place in many ways, that if you compare where we are today to like 50 years ago. It's just that now I feel like they're pushing certain things so much, it's becoming hard for artists to just be who they are and be themselves when they're not wrong.
Do you feel restricted?
I do.
You
I
think
do.
twice?
Yeah, of course. Like sometimes I know for the fact I'm not racist. I know how much love I have for cultures. I'm I have an ethnic background, and so, but sometimes, like, I want to, let's say, talk about a story that I'm on stage telling a story, and I want to do an accent. I can't do an accent. I can't do an accent because someone's gonna be like, oh, look at that, that was wrong, and you crossed the line, and you're not from Brazil, and why did you imitate a Brazilian? No, in this case, nobody.
I like cultural jokes and race jokes and stuff. Like, there's truth in it. I mean, if you're not, I don't think that makes you racist. There are differences, like cultural differences between us, and they're kind of funny.
Yeah, but
And,
if you imitate now an accent of, let's say, a Chinese person or a Latin person, or and then all of a sudden someone's offended.
What about your British? You do a British one.
Yeah, British. Then nobody gets
nobody cares.
offended because they're white. So right now, white people are taking it. All right. So they can make anybody from Sweden,
right?
Anyone from UK, any Australians. Hey, mate,
Dude,
and everyone's like, ha, hilarious.
They're taking it. That's hilarious.
Until like something happens, and then you're not allowed to do that either.
Yeah, but also like, okay, like you do a lot of crowd work. You're really great at it. And that's something that I feel like could get you in trouble potentially. And no one's like, no, I don't sit in the front row of any show except when I come to yours because I know I'm safe.
Yeah.
But like, people know don't sit in the front because you're going to get called out. But there's people who are increasingly sensitive to that. Do you worry about like
No, I don't perform from a place of fear.
Okay.
You can't. If you go, in my head, I know that my intention is pure. I have no ill intention. I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings, nor I hate anyone. And I've got nothing but love and respect and joy to be here. So from that place, I give myself all the permission to perform. And if I don't do that, it's going to affect my performance, and I have not fully given this beautiful experience to the audience. So I go and I play 100%. Now, if it bothers someone, that's on them, right? And frankly, I do a lot of crowd work, and I hardly ever had anybody being upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually what happens is those people become good friends. They actually feel like, oh my God, I connected to this guy in a very interesting way. They were part of a show, and they usually stay and they talk to me after the show, and we hit it off. And it's, by hundreds, I've had this experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the way to do it too.
Yeah. So let me talk to you about your upcoming adventurous stuff.
What?
You're doing a lot of fun from my end, but like your law experiences on e-entertainment, on television, and on social media is taking like such a beautiful course, and I want to see where you at with this and what's happening, and let us in that world.
Yeah, I think a year or two ago, probably around honestly before the pandemic, but really during the pandemic, I just realized that I think part of my purpose is to talk about the law to lay people and get people to either understand their rights or understand the law that is complex and that a lot of people just don't even have access to. So, one of the frustrations that I discovered in being a lawyer is that, wow, most people don't even speak this language, and it's not fair. And how are people even navigating life without knowing what the rules are? And we saw that a lot during COVID because the laws were changing every week, and people were like, wait, what can I do? I can do this. Wait, when can what? I have to test? And what's the rule about 5 days? Or whatever it was. Like, there were all, especially like in California, we had a lot of the rent ordinances that were sort of changing to give people rent relief and all of that, but people didn't understand them, and they changed every week.
Yeah.
So I started doing videos just kind of breaking down what this stuff meant.
So on your social media, you would just make short videos explaining things in a simple language.
Yeah.
That here's a law and this is how you can exercise it.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but you know what that's all kind of turned into is doing a lot of stuff in broadcast and on TV. And so this past year, maybe over a year now, I've been doing live TV. So I've been doing a weekly thing. I was doing Law and Crime every week. I was doing Court TV. The Johnny Depp case came about, and that created even more opportunities. So I was doing a lot of legal commenting on television. And then when the Depp case came out, I was getting like my phone, my email, like everything was blowing up. And
blowing up from whom?
MSNBC, BBC, and it was like Entertainment Tonight, The Talk.
How awesome!
E-News.
They wanted to know your perspective on the case.
Mm-hmm. And so I started doing a lot more, a lot more broadcast TV, and I'm still doing live every week and talking about mainly celebrity cases because I represent celebrities, so that.
So you were on all of these TV programs. Did that give you some sort of boost on your own work? Like, did a lot of people reach out to you for work, clients, etc., or better quality clients?
Yeah, I mean some. So I'm very busy with my practice in any case, but I would say some. But it's interesting because I don't know if there's a divide between lawyers who are on TV and lawyers who actually work as lawyers and run firms like I do. I don't know if there's a divide there. But I also kind of, part of me worries a little bit that the more broadcast I do, the more people think I don't have a firm.
No, it's not that. I feel like if I see a lawyer on TV, I'm like, shit, I cannot afford her.
I think there's that too.
She's on TV. Forget about that one.
Yeah. So I think, so it hasn't, but it's been, I was talking to a friend about this the other day because, you just kind of go with what feels good, and I'm having fun, and it's been a bit of a journey and a ride, and it's been easy. Like, live TV has been very easy for me.
Yeah, because you're a great speaker. You have a very clear opinion. You're very well spoken, of course.
But there's people who get nervous still, I think.
So do you get any dates from all this media stuff?
Well, I ignore guys. So.
Damn. See, that's your problem.
That is my problem. That's one of many, but
so you make these videos and to help the people understand the law, and somebody just writes, "Hey girl, can I take you out to coffee?"
There's some weird stuff.
What kind of
I mean, you probably get that too, right?
Oh, I just straight up get naked photos.
I imagine
I
that
get
happens.
nudes all the time.
Do you? Really?
Yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
do. I get nudes, and I just send out a little emoji of like the thank you, like I appreciate it.
Do you really? Do you respond with thank
They
yous?
say one nude a day takes the
What?
headache away.
Oh boy.
I have for sure,
Nobody
but
has sent
maybe,
me nudes.
but not maybe every day.
But I mean, of course you get nudes.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I
they,
feel like
they won my opinion.
it's very you're you get requests.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I almost wonder. I feel like a lot of men get that. My ex used to get stuff like that all the time. I think a lot of like women do that, and I don't know if men do
It's
that.
part of like the new society sort of norm.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't judge it. I just say that's your choice and that's how you like to communicate with me. I get it.
I mean, I would just be so fearful that that thing would get other places that I wasn't intending. Like,
Yeah, they don't care.
they don't care.
Some, that's another thing. Like, I don't know what's the healthy thing to say about that. Should we care so much or we shouldn't care at all? I guess there should be some sort of balance. But the older I get, I feel like live responsibly, but don't care too much. Responsibly, don't care.
I feel like a
There's
naked
a contradiction
photo
there, but
floating around would be irresponsible.
who cares?
Said,
Who cares?
yeah, you're a man.
No, but like, so what? In today's society, who cares? There was a time, like, I feel like
Yeah, I mean, I guess less now, but I personally would
some
not
of our
want
biggest celebrities became big celebrities from their sex tapes.
But do you think they're respected?
Yeah.
In some ways, but
Yeah, Kim Kardashian. She could become the next president. How did she become Kim Kardashian? One of the biggest jumps of her career was her sex tape. They also have done a lot of humanitarian work.
Sure, they've done things since then, of course.
Yeah. It's just, it's a very diluted, it's a very gray area when it comes to who says what's right and what's wrong. But at the end of the day, you do what works for you, I guess. But playing 100% of the rules, maybe it's unnecessary. And going against it 100%, maybe it's unnecessary. I just think people will find peace if they find what their life philosophy is. And once they figure it out, what that is for them, then from that place, they make their choices. So you have a faith that is very specific to what it is, and then you live and you kind of lead your life through those life philosophies,
lens,
through those values.
I'm not sending you a nude, Max.
Oh,
all this just to convince me to send you.
That would be awkward.
That was like a 20-minute speech to convince me to send you a nude.
No.
Get it? You're blushing.
I love you so much. You got me there.
I do want to ask you one thing.
Sure.
Are you ever worried that someone is going to steal your jokes? Like, you work at your jokes and you spend some time thinking about it, and I don't know how long it takes you to come up with things, but are you ever worried that someone's going to hear it and then it's no longer going to be original, and then next time you can't use it at your show?
I'm never worried about it.
Okay.
I don't like it, but I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of younger, weaker comics who don't know who they are, they have to steal maybe material, which is not, it doesn't even help them. But it happens a lot. And it's happened to me, and it's happened to most comedians. I don't like it, but I'm not worried about it. I go on stage, I perform my set as best as I can. And the thing is this, though, the more you become clear with who you are on stage, your voice becomes so specific that the way I tell a bit, it's so hard for someone else to take it. But it happens. It happens. It actually has happened to other comedians that someone has taken their jokes and has delivered it better than them.
Really?
Yeah. It's happened many times.
Is there like a code amongst comedians? Like, what if you see someone stealing someone's joke?
It's so looked down upon.
Yeah.
It's so not cool.
Yeah.
And I think no respected comedian would want that.
Yeah.
You know, and it happens sometimes even accidentally.
Yeah.
It's many times it's happened that I thought of something or I've heard something and it's been in my subconscious and I didn't realize when I'm riffing on stage, especially someone like me, because I riff and I improvise and you use a line or an idea of some sort that has been just in the back of your head and you have no idea where it came from. But people know that if you stole someone's thing to take it and then deliberately, you know, yeah, it's not a fun thing, and I don't think anybody likes it. Comedians don't like it, you know. And I think nowadays, because of internet and there's like how everything is so easy to search and find, this is happening way less.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you can just say, hey, dude, this is like, you know, you can find out
You
about it
could find
much,
it,
much
yeah,
faster,
quicker,
you know?
yeah. Okay, so let's say you do a special for Netflix. Netflix owns that special. They make it into a recording and they throw it on Spotify or Pandora. Okay. Netflix gets paid for that recording.
Yeah.
But shouldn't you get paid for the jokes that you wrote every time? So it's like if Universal Music.
I don't know because I feel like I feel like that depends on the contract that you drew with the network. If you said, yeah, I'm going to sell this, if you agreed to a sum of money to give the rights of all of this to them, then no, you can't. To me, you cannot say, here is the right to use this. But if you use it, again, it should be specified in the contract how that material is going to be used.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. But so a lot of comedians pulled their content from Spotify because of this, because they weren't getting paid, like Tiffany Haddish, a lot of estates of some of the big comedians. They pulled their content because they're trying to negotiate something where they actually get paid as the people who wrote the jokes, not just performers.
Because maybe they wanted to use the joke elsewhere and they weren't able to because it was used there.
Well, I guess
something.
if you think of it this way, like somebody who, you just have to think of it as like somebody who wrote a song versus sang the song.
That makes sense. That makes sense because a comedian is the writer and the performer of that content. And so, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that's fair enough.
That's happening now. So we'll see.
I think that's fair enough. There's also another side of this that comedians are the writer of the joke. So it's a given, right? It's not like, but music, is defined differently.
Like there could be somebody who wrote a song that didn't perform
but a comedian is not a comedian if this joke or this thing that's written didn't derive from their perspective.
Right.
You know, comedians have writers, but that still kind of falls within their own perspective. So again, it is their bit and they're the creator writer of this because they're dictating within that settings of those people that are helping them to craft their idea and perspective, right?
And like it would be weird if a comedian, like if someone else who's not a comedian or another comedian came along and performed one comedian's jokes. I feel like that's not going to happen.
No, that's cool. Look, I feel like I can chat with you for another 4 hours. I had the best talk with you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please follow Mitra Ahouraian on her Instagram. The handle is
Mitra ESQ.
Wow, she made it super easy.
I did.
Because who's
not make you guys.
Ahouraian?
I will not make you guys learn how to spell my last name.
So if you have any questions, send it to her DMs, and if you have any nudes, send it my way.
Don't send nudes to me.
To me, send it to me.
Send them to Max.
Clarifying to me. Thank you very much. Adios.
Thank you.